There's another reason for us being apart other than our respective skills.
Lucy began. Quyen looked tired. I tried not to take it personally. Our first evening together had gone so well, but in the morning his mood had shifted. He could barely look at me. It sent shivers down my spine. I tried to ignore that sensation and relax for the others' sake, who were probably equally uncomfortable. Quyen put on his sunglasses, although we were inside, just between the patio and the kitchen and a small living room. We were sitting opposite each other on two large white couches. They had quite a few wine stains on them. At least I think it was wine.
It's quite possible, according to some, that the more vampires in one place, the greater likelihood of our being tracked, of the technology affecting us, of Gree or others being able to find and exploit us. However, being too disparate isn't ideal. That's why we're okay with you, Harry, and Neto, and possibly one more if you're joined, traveling together. I will come separately, and, well, Nino will be stationed apart, but we two have an easy connection, even without cell phones, which, of course, we won't use for obvious reasons. I've tried to reach that young man, Simon. He could be useful, but I'm also willing to let it go, if you are, Harry.
He's not ready, in my opinion. I'm in favor of leaving the boy alone.
Lucy looked to Quyen and to me.
Have you,
Mumbled Quyen.
But I think it's a mistake not to try.
He's not in control of his powers. We witnessed it at the compound. Harry spoke to him as well.
Certainly, but nor are you. What? You're going to fall asleep when you feel threatened, like a possum. Right. So that's Harry's physical strength alone. Wifey here's powers are more temperamental than I'll ever be. Isn't that right, dear? And what about you, Quyen? Me. I was built to destroy him, and by consequence destroy myself. The reason I'm not going is that I don't want to die. There, I've said it. I cling to my life like a petty little child.
Quyen got up rashly, took off his shades, and went outside, as casually as his wounded pride permitted. Lucy flashed a look of embarrassment, but quickly shook it off.
Nino has powers that will be useful at a distance. He's just worried about me, about us all, of course. But I can handle myself. I know you can, Harry. Neto?
Yes, fine. To be honest, I wouldn't know where to find Simon anyway.
Well, we can find him if we want, but don't let Nino sway you. I think it's best to go this way. We don't have that much time anyway.
And Leona?
She'll meet you. I took the liberty when I saw you yesterday.
Later, Quyen returned, significantly cooled, although I don't think he had time to go to the gentleman's club. He shook my hand for a long time, still with his shades on. Poor guy, I tried to imagine what it would have been like to be in Baba's clutches, used by her. I needed to ask him more about it, about how it would relate to Agatha, if he had anything to tell me about that, but also I suspected that even someone as terrifying as Baba had the capacity to change as well. It made sense now, the rejection, and healed my heart somewhat. What I had suspected, that I had dodged a bullet there, felt confirmed. Quyen had got the worst of Baba. Saved me in a way. Agatha the best, ? And I, well, something neutral to have no mentor, but also to not have one that is so toxic, to use a young person's parlance. However long it had taken me to recover from my life. Quyen was older and still recovering, still struggling with the duality of emotion, wanting to go closer to it and further away all at once. It made me in the instant that he was shaking my hand, ready to let go of Lucy, of my feelings, but the instant she took me in her arms for an embrace goodbye, like a girl, tender and open-hearted, both me and Harry, to be fair, I wasn't so sure I could. As we embraced, two complementary colors flashed in my mind. She's so lonely, I thought. Like me.
He's an attractive man,
Harry said as we skipped on the water in our taxi.
But then you look at him sometimes, and it doesn't seem like he's there.
Yes, I know. It's not a spell, Harry. I said, looking out at the color of water. It's trauma.
I don't remember him having a British accent either. Must have taken that on when he moved to Australia for some reason. For an actor, it's not altogether authentic sounding.
I forgive him that, Harry. Did you talk to him about his acting?
Not much. Do you know, I think I remember he was with Shakespeare's men, King's men, or what you call it, shortly, unimpressively. I got the sense he didn't want to talk about it too much. I've been around enough actors to know when they're insecure about something. They say too little or too much.
I can empathize with that as an artist, surely. It's uncomfortable business, whatever you make or do.
Yes, but you've committed to it in the long run. Dare say it's a different story.
Oh, I don't know, Harry. Short or long, it's brave work to put yourself out there. Except when all you're doing is hiding. That's the key, I think. Not to hide. I did not like where we were going. We were going near the forest of my youth. In a way, we were going to the forest of all our youths. The train made its way through mountains, both familiar and unfamiliar, like a dream dreamed long ago. The only thing that settled me were the crows hovering above us. One flew close by, or was it a raven, and I nudged Harry, but he was sleeping. What would be, would be. I was quite certain we would see Leona soon.
I saw you in my dream,
said Leona as she waved to us happily from the platform. She still had her ribbons around her waist and in her hair, but was now dressed in a sable light gray wool coat, the shifting color of fog. She wore impressive boots to give herself more height. I wonder if it was to compete with Harry. I was sad not to see Balkus.
He's fine. We'll all be reunited soon.
She said more to Bunny in the carrier than to us.
I never speak of my dreams, you know. That's a new one for me, especially to a couple of fools like you. Must be the fountain's effect. I can feel things accelerating, much like the train in my dream, and this place. I feel like a polarity and opposition attracting me. I don't know if you two feel it.
We both didn't answer but looked around. The rustic station looked trapped in time in certain respects. A woman in a hood in the corner reminded me of the woman in the village from my youth. I trembled that someone would speak to me soon in the language of my youth, though I knew that it was much changed.
Come, we won't dally. I've been informed we're at greater risk, the three of us. Excuse me, 4.
Leona said, taking the bunny out of the carrier and onto her shoulder. Leona was always in a merry mood when adventure was afoot. We got to an inn and I was relieved when the innkeeper spoke to us in English. We had a quiet meal in the corner, and then adjourned to Leona's room where she changed out of her boots to some walking shoes. We left our things there, including my pink bunny backpack, Harry's clothes, Bunny's carrier. As we walked, Bunny was fixated with Leona's ribbon in her hair.
Careful there, you're going to make it come loose. Here, I think she'd better ride on your shoulder, Harry. I keep thinking I'm going to drop her.
Not much chance of that.
Bunny jumped onto Harry's shoulder, looked back at Leona mournfully.
There, we're still friends.
Where is that ribbon from, Leona?
Oh, I thought I'd mentioned. We found it along the way to the fountain amongst some trees. Curious and beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, very curious. And very beautiful, too. We walked off the main cement road onto a dirt road, and then off that road into a path, and then we had come to a forest at the foot of a mountain pass.
This is our best approach. Not sure how long it'll take, but I've been assured we won't have too much resistance, at first. There may be some inclement weather. Your friend warned me, Netto. But perhaps that'll be in our favor.
The wooded path reminded me of the woods of Muir in California, where I had lived not so long ago. Deer took our approach with indifference, and even walked alongside us, flanking us like obedient soldiers. Some small waterfalls made for brief base camps to collect ourselves. Leona and Harry were well fit for it, but I tended to lag behind, distracted by the familiarity of the forest. The smells, the nostalgia overwhelmed me, even as I had always dreaded to return to this part of the world. When we had made our way up enough elevation, the temperature cooled, and then we heard the sound of distant thunder, and rain began to fall, though the canopy interrupted most of the pluvium. Pluvium? When had I last called rain this? Further up through the much denser forest, a rich fog made our path more and more opaque. Thunder. But also laughter. Did you hear that? We all said in unison.
I almost thought I'd imagined it.
Perhaps we had. This other time I imagined seeing a shark. Let us hope that it is not a bad thing.
It sounded slightly mad.
It sounded joyful to me, but yes, perhaps.
The man appeared almost from thin air. He was dressed in epaulettes, almost like a military guard, but his face was youthful and naive. He was alarmed and reached for a walkie-talkie on his belt, but then nervously fumbled it and it fell. And just as he went down to grasp it, Bunny jumped onto his back. Before I could retrieve her or the young man could react, she burst into such a bright ball of flame that our eyes were almost blinded by it. And next we knew it, the man was on the ground, dead.
No, sleeping.
Said Leona as she checked his pulse.
Sound asleep.
Bunny looked up at us proudly. Well, I'll be. She certainly is full of surprises. That saved us a lot of trouble.
I don't think we'd anticipated anyone at this point. So well done, you. But now, this is where we make our ascent. I think I can find a way.
Leona retreated behind a tree, and after a few brief moments, a crow, or was it a raven, appeared, squawked at us, and flew up the vertiginous face of the stone wall.
I can't remember. Are you afraid of heights?
I'm not afraid of heights, Harry. I'm afraid of falling, but what choice do I have?
You could stay, if you like.
As useless as I may seem, something tells me I will be useful in some way, Harry. I do not know how, but I would like to be there. How shall I hold on to you? It was humbling to hold on to Harry's frame like I was his own little bunny backpack, but I knew there was no other way. Bunny clung to his left shoulder as I rested more on his right, trying not to look down. The wall had enough crevices and protruding bits that Harry didn't have too much trouble, it seemed, until we came to the very top, where it became very smooth and angled out unexpectedly.
Neto, how about something unconventional? I think I can grip strong enough here.
I made the mistake of looking down as a breeze whipped by my ear. It was not a comfortable or safe distance down. Yes, listening, Harry.
You can. If you can grab this hand hold here, this foot here, the right one, then onto my shoulders, and then I think you'll be able to reach. I know it seems unlikely, but well, if you can't do it, you'll come back down. Okay? There. I have a good grip. When you're ready.
I was shaking, but I closed my eyes for a second and saw Lucy and wanted her to see me brave. Somewhere in the clouds, somewhere watching in the fog. She was like the weather all around me. I let her energy, dare I say her love, give me permission to be brave. And before I knew it, I had my feet on Harry's shoulder. As then Bunny scaled up me and she sprung up without warning, up and over the wall at the precipitous angle. Harry, I will have to push off you. I cannot quite reach.
Tell me when, and I'll be okay. I have a hold. Just quick when you can. Not to rush you.
Only one hand caught the lip, the other flailing backwards, and I knew I wasn't strong enough. I knew I was about to give way, would fall onto Harry, and this was the end. Ridiculous end, poorly thought, poorly planned. Leona caught my wrist and pulled me up.
There. Lucky timing. I've got you. There now. No need to worry. We're clear. Harry, can you find a way? Else we'll...
But we did not hear Harry respond, nor had we heard him fall. When we looked down, we only saw the wall, and the fog below shaped itself around what must have been Harry's soundless descent. We both felt our hearts seize. Just then, a shape came along the battlements through the dense fog. And it was Harry, pleased as punch at having stopped our hearts.
Sorry about that. With a little less weight, I was able to scale horizontally. Found a better ascent a ways down. Didn't mean to scare you.
Harry. Voices stirred from beyond the fog, skirting the wall.
We'd better go. This way, I think. Quickly.
We lounged our way between the wall's battlements and the thick brush in front of us, until finally the fog parted, and an image, both magnificent and discombobulating, appeared above us. It was a castle, daunting in size, although quite unusually, it had an addition to one of its wings, modern and clad in steel and extending like a tower culminating in an antenna, although there still looked to be scaffolding and construction on it. We climbed down some steps of the battlement and arrived at the gate, and then into a wooded garden.
I wasn't given anything past this point. This is where we improvise.
Just then the sound. It rose and hummed, familiar yet different. I turned to Leona. Her image wavered like the static on a television. Feathers danced around her like a halo, as if she was struggling not to transform.
Neto? Harry? What's happening? Is it the technology you spoke of? I can't... I'm resisting, but it's building!
I saw Harry seize up, his neck's veins pulsing. Harry, don't resist. Remember Agatha's words.
Agatha.
He seemed to regain his composure. On the side of the castle, I saw some brush and unmistakably a wooden door. Harry, if you can, get us in, here! Once inside, I tried quickly to block our entrance with the brush, but we could only move further into the darkness to try to escape the sound. And we did. Some 100 paces, the sound began to lessen. I could see Leona and Harry by the dim light were breathing clear again.
Damn. So that's what that is. Discombobulating at best. Harry? Neto, are you all right?
It, doesn't quite have the same effect on me, strangely. A moment more and perhaps I would have felt myself go sleepy. Bunny, where is Bunny? Bunny erupted in the most comforting ball of flame, and we were thus illuminated of our whereabouts. It was a long corridor, all stone, a not overly welcoming place. Foreboding, even. If I had looked closer, I might have recognized the worrisome markings of claws on the stone wall.
Let's keep moving. Surely back out isn't an option.
Around and through this corner and that, we finally arrived at the great subterranean hall. High ceilings and columns of stone, possibly marble, melting into the dark, with only a few dim torches and Bunny illuminating our way. Surrounding the room's atrium, as it were, we could see them. Coffins, raised on mounds of dirt. One, whose lid that was open on what looked like... Yes, on bones, both animal and human.
Where are we?
Said Harry, as innocent as could be.
I'm not feeling like staying to find out.
Said Leona. The stone stairs echoed uncomfortably as we paced up them, but our vigilance was probably only accentuating the sound with our imagination. I could tell even Harry was fearful, although it was also a reverence. We were in a place of origin, terrifying while also wondrous. It was not without its beauty, though we were eager to leave it behind, before it became comfortable, welcoming even. The door gave way to a gentle push, and there were modern halogen lights in the hallway where we ascended. Plush carpet like we were in a boutique hotel. It led to another set of stairs, rounding in a helix upwards, until finally another hallway, tight as like an abattoir. This was too. This is a trap, I said under my breath.
This is a trap,
said Leona.
This
said Harry. And then all I could feel was my hand gripping somehow a ledge, and the air voiding below my feet, and the unmistakable sound of my friends falling away from me for what felt like forever in desperation. Sharp as a knife in my heart.